Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are in Gyaneshwari, chapter 18, verse number 63 or 63. What number did I say?
26.
26. So 63rd verse we are doing, and 63rd verse talked about, what was it? इति ते ज्ञानमाख्यातं गुह्यात् गुह्यतरं मया विमृश्यैतदशेषेण यथेच्छसि तथा कुरु. Very simply put, I had taught what iti, thus. This is the conclusion, as we said last week, of the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord, having imparted all the knowledge, having answered all the questions of Arjuna, and therefore he is saying, te jnanam akyatam. Akhya is explained, narrated, transferred, whatever. And what has been given? Guhyat guhyataram maya. There is guhya, there is guhyatara, subtler than the subtlest knowledge, finer than the finest knowledge. Guhyat guhyataram jnanam has been transferred, has been given by me, maya, to you. And thus, and then it says, vimrushya etad asheshena, and there is nothing else, and you ponder, you think about it, contemplate over it again and again, think, read, contemplate, ponder, revisit all that what I have said, and then do whatever you want. I don't care. Bhagavan doesn't care. Yatechasi tatha kuru. The choice in the end, as we said last week, is in the pocket or in the in the student. What he does with the knowledge, it's up to the student. It's up to the, because see, here we are not talking about the bhakta, we are talking about the jnana has to be given to a disciple.
From updates not installed.
Knowledge is given to a disciple. To a bhakta, knowledge is not given. To the bhakta, he surrenders himself, and as a result, the knowledge reveals itself within him. And here we are. We can start all over again. हे गीता नाम विख्यात सर्ववांगमयाचे मथित आत्मा जेणे हस्तगत रत्न होय ज्ञान ऐसी आरूढी वेदांती जयची प्रौढी वानिता कीर्ती चोखडी पातली जगी बुद्ध्यादिके डोळसे हे जयाचे काकडवसे मी सर्वद्रष्टा ही दिसे पाहला जया. He says, this famous secret text known as Gita is the essence of Vedic literature, and one gains the gem of self by its means. But what do people do? They take Bhagavad Gita and do puja of the Bhagavad Gita, but never open and read it. They want answers from the Bhagavad Gita without having respect and reverence for the Bhagavad Gita. because they'll open some page. Acha, answer mila kya? Arey, you don't have the acumen to understand what is given there. And then, because it didn't satisfy their requirement, they discard it or they keep it. They know it is holy. It says Holy Gita, but that holiness hasn't entered into them. And that's the problem. So it is the essence of all the Vedic literature. It is the essence of all the Upanishads. I gave you the example last week that the main theme of Bhagavad Gita, the main scene of Bhagavad Gita is where Krishna and Arjuna are sitting on the chariot in the middle of the two armies. That chariot itself is the theme of the Kathopanishad third chapter that we are doing right now. About the whole, through the chariot, the Jiva is the Arjuna, and the intellect must be dedicated to the God, to the divine, to the Ishvara. Only then the mind, the reins, and the senses, the horses, can come under our control. And that one example from the Kathopanishad, it also comes in some other Upanishad, I can't remember. I think Shweta. But it is taken, so many verses from the Kathopanishads are directly put into the Bhagavad Gita by Maharishi Vedvyas. And thus we see Bhagavad Gita is creme de la creme. It is the makhan of all the scriptures. That which is current as knowledge, and by praising whose glory Vedanta became renowned in this world, of which all the intellectual subjects are a mere shadow, by which knowledge I that behold all am known. So this knowledge is the supreme most, it is the transcendental, and only through this knowledge of the Vedanta. See, I have to keep repeating this again and again. Vedanta means not in general parlance, we understand Vedanta means what we are studying. But actual meaning of Vedanta means Veda Anta, where all words stop, where all words dissolve, Anta, conclude. That is the Vedanta. Put it in another way, Veda Anta, where the Vedas conclude. Where do they conclude? Just like the example in Kathopanishad we saw. Let's very generally we put it. Where does the jogger's journey begin and conclude? It begins from home and he runs around and concludes back at home. Moving around for nothing. Same way, where did this jiva come from and where is he going back to? Where did the scriptures come from and what are they teaching us? What is the conclusion of the scriptures? Conclusion of the scriptures will be from where they have come. What is their source? And therefore, Veda Anta also means the conclusion of scriptures, which is not experienced by the scriptures, but the scriptures only narrate it. This is one way of saying it. The other way of saying it is the scriptures are the speech of the Lord, the Ishvara himself, and therefore he is the cause, scriptures are the effect, and the effect can never come to know the cause. The effect can only become silent in front of the cause in wonderness. Because effect, under any circumstance, the effect can never come to know the cause. You remember the other rule. Cause alone expresses as many effects. So it's the Ishvara alone, through his Maya Shakti, is expressing as the variety. We are one of that variety. Now you choose, after studying Vedanta, your understanding of yourself is, I am one of the crowd or I am the one. That choice is left to you after studying Vedanta or studying Bhagavad Gita. That knowledge of self, next, 25. ते हे गा आत्मज्ञान मज गोप्याचे ही गुप्तधन परी तू म्हणूनी आन केवी करू या कारणे गा पांडवा आम्ही आपुला हा गुह्य ठेवा तुझ दिधला कणवा जाकळीलेपणे जैसी भुलली बोरसे माय बोले बाळा दोषे प्रीती ही परी तैसे न करूची हो येथ आकाश आणि गाळीजे अमृता ही साली फेडिजे का दिव्या करविजे दिव्य जैसे जयाचैनी अंग प्रकाशे पाताळीचा परमाणू दिसे तया सूर्या ही का जैसे अंजन सुदले Sudale. So he says that knowledge of self is the secret treasure of mind. Which is the secret treasure? Which is beyond the scriptures. Scriptures talk about it. They talk about that which is beyond them. This is the uniqueness of our scriptures. Only our scriptures. Only the Vedas. Only the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita talks about what is there and what is not there, and what is beyond both that which is there and not there, which is transcendental. So that knowledge of self is the secret treasure of mind, who am unmanifest. See, Krishna Bhagwan clearly knows that he is the Parabrahma Paramatma, the absolute one, the immaculate one, to whom no sense of otherness can ever stick. No dirt can ever stick to that Parabrahma Paramatma that he is. Even though he is experienced by Arjuna in the body of Krishna, even though he is performing so many different duties, actions, etc., but in essence, because he is a realized one, he is the one, he has known that, and therefore he is able to speak this language. We talk about it, but is our experience, are we living in that poise of where nothing, no space is sticking to us, no time is sticking to us, no object is sticking to us? That is Jivan Mukti. But for us, not only the body, breath, mind, intellect is sticking to us, then everything associated with this body, breath, mind, intellect is also sticking to us. That's where we have fallen so deep. So we have to, here he will tell how to get out of it also. He has told so many different ways, but let's see how he unfolds it again, because he's giving, here he's telling that I am, this is the secret treasure of mine, and who is this me? I am the unmanifest. Now for this, you go back to the fourth and the fifth verse of the chapter 9, where the Lord says, Maya tatamidam sarvam madavyaktam murtina. And there he says that the whole world is in me, I am in the whole world. And then thereafter he says, neither the world is in me nor I am in the world, yet I support the world, but I am always transcendental to the world. And what is the world? Manifest and unmanifest put together. And therefore, here when he says that I am the, who am the unmanifest, meaning from your point of view, how should I say, are you manifesting as man or woman, or are you manifesting as father and mother, brother and sister, daughter and son? Which one? Which one? When you say you know that the father, mother, daughter, sister, etc., these are roles, only referential roles, having no validity whatsoever other than some idea in our mind, some role we have accepted by within our intellect, that this relationship, this reflection, living with this person is called as husband, living with this person is called as wife, and these are the roles because the society has told so. We are born in that society, we are following the dictates of that society. But is the man affected by the roles? No. Is the woman affected by the roles? No. Has the man ever become the father? Can the man ever become the father? No. Man continues to be the man. So similarly, from the absolute point of view, where Bhagavan is saying, I am the unmanifest. That means even though I am seen by the people in some form or the other, but I have never taken any of those forms. Even though gold is seen in many forms of the ornaments, but from the gold's point of view, it is unmanifest. There is no manifestation of any ornament on account from the gold's point of view. And these things are worthy of contemplation. Spend some time. But how can I hide it from you? See, Bhagwan here is in love with this disciple of his. See, few years ago, there is one in Ammachi's ashram, there is someone called Mani. He is the manager there, I think. And he had gone to India and stayed at Ammachi's ashram. And when he came back, he called me. A few years ago, I think 2018 or 2017. Yes, Swamiji, I want to pass on a message. I said, what is the message? He says, I was sitting with Amma, I was serving her, all the people come to hug, and suddenly in the middle of it, she fondly asked, how is that Swami in Melbourne? And we were chatting about you. And so Amma was remembering very fondly. There were tears in my eyes because one Mahatma somewhere so many thousands of kilometers far away is having our thought. That itself is enough. That we are in the radar of a Mahatma, isn't it? Same way, Arjun is in the radar of Lord Krishna. And he is so, last week I told you about Maharishi Punitacharya ji, who gave so much knowledge and said, now you unfold it. I have given you what I have to give, whatever I had. Similarly, Krishna Bhagwan, here he says that, but how can I hide it from you? You are the most dearest to me. You are listening with such single pointedness. You are the most fit disciple. You are the most fit devotee. How can I not? I have got no choice. I have to give it to you. And he is also God. Frankly speaking, God is always looking for some platform from where he can express himself. And that platform is all of us. Only in human beings that platform is available. Even though he is present everywhere. But yeah, if you say that I am a Nastik, I am a non-believer, well, what can God do? He is still expressing, but not fully because you are not allowing him. So he is also waiting to pour his entire being into a ready disciple or devotee. He pours himself into the disciple and he absorbs the devotee. Let's put it that way. So, O Arjuna, because I am extremely fond of you, whoever we love, whom do we love? Whom do we love? The one who gives dakshina, the one who gives you food, annadan. Yes, but the ultimate dan, dakshina is jnana dan. So, whom do we love? Do you love a person who is continuously downloading all the problems on you? Yes, you love, but after some time, yaar, bahut ho gaya, chal, aage badh. Do you love a person who is continuously questioning and I knew one person like that, and 4 months he ate my head, and they will ask the question, they will open some book somewhere, one of the scripture, ask, read something, you mean that is very fantastic, and come and then eat my head, and then after 1.5, 2 months, I was also a young brahmachari that time, very new to this profession. And at that time, this fellow, first time someone is asking question, yeah, we are also 100% available. But after 1.5 months, I realized, bloody, I am waking up till 3, 4 o'clock. We are having discussion, but the questions are repeating. There's no, the person is not improving. The quality of the question is still the same. That's when I gave them one book of Bhagavad Gita, and I said, I will not answer any more questions of yours. You read the every day 4, 5, 6 verses, 10 verses also doesn't matter. But only from those 5 verses, 10 verses, I will answer the questions. Otherwise, I won't. Otherwise, but there, what was the situation? The hunger was there, but the preparation was not there. Focus was not there. Here, Arjun is, what did he say? Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava pritchami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha nishreya syad nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. I am your disciple and I am surrendered at your feet. And he has, through the Bhagavad Gita, all these hundreds of verses, he has never, Arjuna is so single pointed that he has not gone into reverse gear in his questioning. Never, not once. It's always been a movement forward in his understanding, in his disposition, in his questioning, everything. He was in tune with the teacher, Krishna. Never he asked or repeated the same question as before. And therefore, for a disciple, for a teacher, to find such a disciple is also very rare. Tapon Maharaj, who was the Guru Maharaj of Chinmayananji, he was in his 60s, I think, 50s, 60s. And he didn't appreciate any disciples. There was no place. He had just one small hut on the hill and he will live there. Nobody can stay with him. People will say, Swamiji, I want to study. He says, you can study, but I will only repeat once. And if I ask the question anytime, you must be able to answer. If you can't answer, get out. I don't want you. You are not fit. Go make yourself fit first. What is the fitness? Fitness is ekagrata. Fitness is single-pointedness of mind. Fitness is that single-pointed mind, not towards the world, it's towards the divine. Only such a mind, by the grace, then becomes becomes the womb where the knowledge manifests itself. And there, after so whole life almost, then Chinmayananji came and he studied under him for 7, 8, 9 years, and that was the main disciple. Entire life, Tapon Maharaj lived, did his tapasya, did his meditation in the Uttarkashi, and all that for one disciple. He was ready to pour into everyone, but nobody could last. Nobody could nobody could withstand the discipline of his. And Chinmayananji was the diamond that came and was polished further, went through all the treatments, and all the knowledge was poured into him. See, similar is the case with Arjuna. He has been because Arjuna has known Krishna for so many years, and at the time of the war, Krishna is 87 or 86, Arjuna is 85 or 86. They're very similar age. At that age, we are ready to die and they are ready to fight. They are still living fully. See? यहाँ पे हम pain here, pain there, pain everywhere. They are ready. Chakradhari. He is at his prime. O Arjuna, because I am extremely fond of you, I am entrusting this secret treasure to you. See? We tell whoever is very dear to us, let it be a friend, let it be our mother, let it be our father, let it be our child, let it be our cousin, wherever this fondness and आत्मीयता, अपनापन एकदम कि इसके ये अपना ही है, कोई देयर इज नथिंग टू बी केयरफुल अबाउट. टू सच अ पर्सन यू indulge them in your deepest secrets. And here Lord Krishna, he is telling his deepest secret. What is that? I am the unmanifest. I am the absolute. I am everything. I am the one. I am the Paramatma. I am the Ishvara. And I am you and I am the whole world. If to anyone else this knowledge is given, they will misunderstand. Some will not understand. Some will understand exactly the opposite. Some will make a joke out of this person who has said something like this. One day we were going to someone's house and one person was sitting behind in the car. And when you see a Swami, straight away question after question. Swamiji, I want to ask you a question. Are you realized? I'm driving the car and a person is asking this question from behind. Swamiji, are you realized? What are you going to answer? That whatever answer I give, you will not understand it. She says, try. I said, yes and no. I said, yes and no. How can you say that? You have to take one side. I said, I told you, you will not understand. If that question has come to your mind, the same answer is to you. Yes and no. Contemplate. I am entrusting this secret treasure to you just as a mother, crazy because of her love for her child, talks to it in a lively mood. Will not my affection for you make me talk like that? Yes, last 3-4 days ago, I was with a young born, 3-4 months old baby. Baby was in my arms and Kirtana. And she's smiling, sometimes she's looking at the beard and sometimes this, that, all. And we never talked all that funny language in normal talk. But with the child, ओलू ऐसे हो गया, किसने किया, ये दाढ़ी तुमको गुदगुदी कर रही है, why, oh you are ready to, you are not happy, and some conversation is going on, and that child is also responding, sometimes not responding, and you don't do it out of boredom. Whenever you are with a child, I don't know about you, I am talking about myself. Whenever I am with a child, I'm not bored. I am full on. It brings out the best out of you. Why? No ego in front of you. The child, that baby has got no ego. Immediately after that, her sister, she was going round and round and round and round, and she pulled me from the sofa after food. She said, Swamiji, you also have to go round and round with me. For 15 minutes after food, we are doing that Sufi dance. She was wearing a pavda and she was going round and round. I was wearing lungi, I was going round and round. Do you do that? Do you become a child with a child? Do you pour everything that you have, like Krishna, with whomever you are meeting, whoever is in front of you? You do that with your children. You do that with your partner. But what about everyone? Here we are not talking about relationships. Here we are talking about teacher and disciple. We are talking about God, Lord and his devotee. And there is a very, very deep relationship here. And therefore, he says, just as a mother, with the love for her child, pours the love by various means. It's not always kissing and smooching and hugging. It is by way of taking care of the child, knowing in advance what that child may need, giving the correct nourishment, not only the food, but also the thought, the thinking, the samskaras, building up the child's character, etc., etc. And it is not that I have to do so, I have to do. It's naturally, if the mother is very clear in her, she is in love with the child, she wants that child to grow up into a good person, automatically it flows. Just as the moment a cow sees the calf, automatically the milk starts flowing from the udder. She doesn't have to try. Similarly, whenever a worthy disciple comes in front, automatically the knowledge gets poured out of the teacher. And here he says, talks to it in a lively mood. Will not my affection for you make me talk like that? You are a worthy disciple, you are a keen disciple, you are a devoted disciple, you have love for me, you have love for the knowledge, you want to know, you are straightforward, you are not manipulative. And how do we know all these things? All the names that Krishna has used for Arjuna. Dhananjaya, Kaunteya, Arjavam, etc., etc. All those, Arjuna means that. Gandhivadhari. So all those qualities are there and recognized by Sri Krishna, the Lord Krishna. And because of who you are, they don't have the same mother. Yet the affection, the availability for each other is so much that Lord is saying, just like a mother is ever available to the child, I am also ever available. Will not my affection for you make me talk like that? I'm not telling you all this out of, chal yaar, time pass karna hai, isko bota dete hain. No. The Lord, if you see the Bhagavad Gita, all different emotions, Navarasa, All the rasas are there. All the moods. So Bhagwan is fully switched on. Like we are switched on when our children are around. We are switched on when we are playing with a small baby. Krishna is switched on 24/7 in his entire life. And even more so when Arjuna is in front of him. And he, in the 10th chapter, he already said, among all the men, I am the Arjuna. Remember he was saying, where he was giving among the trees, I am the Ashwatha, among the rivers, I am the Ganga. Similarly, among the men, among the Nara, I am Arjuna. And that for that affinity, that relationship. Will not my affection for you make me talk like that? As though by straining the sky or stripping the nectar of its rind, or making the lamp go through an ordeal of putting collyrium in the eyes of the sun, who illumines even the atoms in the nether world by his light. So after considering it from all angles, I, who am omniscient, have explained to you the true knowledge. Now think well for yourself and do what you think is proper. Here we'll just read that till here. Next part, where are we? 31. तैसे सर्वज्ञे हि मिया सर्व हि निर्धारुनिया निके होयते धनंजया सांगितले तुझ आता तू ययावरी निके हे निर्धारुनी करी आवडे तैसे यया देवाचिया बोला अर्जुनु उगाची ठेला तेथ देवो म्हणती भला अवंचकू होसी वाढतया पुढे भुकेला अपरोधे म्हणे माप धाला तैतोची पीडे आपुला आणि दोषुही तया तैसा सर्वज्ञ श्री गुरु भेटलिया आत्मनिर्धारू न पुसिजे जय आभारू धरुनिया. He says that, so after considering it from all angles, I, who am omniscient, the one who knows everything, past, present, future, what is manifest and unmanifest and beyond. There is nothing that is not known. He is present everywhere. Have explained to you the true knowledge. So, because, now see what he is saying here, Gyaneshwari Maharaj. The Lord is omniscient. The Lord is all pervasive. The Lord, nothing is hidden from the Lord. Why? Because He is all that there is. Everything is imagined in Him. He is, and if you want to speak from relative standpoint, He alone is expressing in and through everything. He is the material that goes into everything. So how can something not be known to Him? How can any ornament be not known to the gold? How can any pot be not known to the mud? How can any wave be not known to the water? Exactly. What is there in this creation that is outside the Lord? Nothing. Everything is He alone. And therefore, He is the all-knower, the omniscient one. And from that, with that knowledge, He has systematically, with proper gradation, passed on the knowledge to Arjuna. He is saying, I have passed it on to you. Now I have transferred everything to you. Yatha chesi tatha kuru. Now you do what you want. That I can't determine for you. We have to make the jiva, the individual has to make the decisions of his or her life. I shouldn't say his or her, again, of their life by themselves. And the more they think of the divine, the more they think of the Lord, better will be their decision-making capacity. Quality of decisions will be correct. Slowly we'll come to a point That point I'll hold on because it will come after some verses. Otherwise, I can't. We have already talked about it, but here the Lord is saying, Yathechasi, meaning the choice is yours. The choice is always the individual because the individual believes that he has a choice. And nobody can force an individual to think that it is choiceless existence until and unless each individual, each seeker does not come to this conclusion of his own accord that it's a choiceless existence. But it cannot be spoon-fed by the teacher to the student. What the teacher does is give the knowledge and yathechasi tatha kuru. Do what you feel like, do what you want. But because you are a good student, you are a available student, I poured everything into you. But I'm not going to live your life. I'm not going to live your life. I'm not. If I eat food, will you get satisfied? Have you come to that point? स्वामी जी भूख लगी है ज्ञान की, ठीक है ज्ञान देते हैं, मैंने खा लिया, मैंने पढ़ ली किताब. Like people call pujaris at home and do the puja. It's the most. खुद नहीं करेंगे बदमाश लोग, पुजारी को बुलाएंगे. आउटसोर्सिंग. इन स्पिरिचुअलिटी देयर इज नो आउटसोर्सिंग. जितनी मर्जी दक्षिणा दे दो, कुछ नहीं फर्क पड़ने वाला. Until unless you don't make the choice to change within yourself. And what is that change? We have told you already. It's choiceless existence. Who feels that there is a choice? Ego, the individual. Wherever there is duality, there is a choice. When you come to this realization that this duality is only a figment of imagination, it's only mithya, it's only it's existing in its own absence, and your attention is not out there to prove this creation. Your attention is out there to prove that one alone is appearing in behind everything. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hruddesheti tishtati. Your attention is on that one. Who is that one who is appearing everywhere, in and through everyone? Then transformation is possible. See? Now think well for yourself and do what you think proper. Think well. Now you ponder over what I have told you. Did Arjuna have time to ponder? Did Arjuna have time to think over it? Did Arjuna say, Acha, take time out? Krishna, time out? You said now think well, let me think. Can you repeat that chapter 3 again? This is what we do now. What did you say there? That karma is in the akarma and akarma are both happening at the same time. I didn't know. What did you say? Uddharet atmana atmanam. What did you say? Pushpam phalam toyam. Can you show me the Vishwarup darshan again? I think I missed out something there. No repetition. Did he have all that time? This is what we do by asking questions. Swami, you said something there. You were bloody not available for what was told. You are confusing the standpoints. You are listening, but you are not making the knowledge your own. To make that knowledge what you are listening and make it your own, the disposition is different. You have to stop being a listener. You have to start reflecting what is being heard. Then that knowledge comes. Then that knowledge becomes yours. See? After hearing this talk of the Lord, Arjuna kept quiet. Seeing this, the Lord said, "O Arjuna, you are so straight that you are not deceitful." I use the word arjavam. Arjavam is you are straightforward. No manipulation. A child is straightforward. What you see is what you get. They don't try to manipulate, If they are not feeling well, they'll start crying. If they are happy, they'll start laughing. If they are cheesed off, they'll pull the beard straight away. Straightforward. But we are all, every step of our life, we keep telling lies. Why did you not come yesterday? Swamiji, someone had come to our house. कौन आया था? सो गए थे. पर स्वामी जी को क्या पता है? सो गए. Someone had come. We think that these small manipulations are not being noticed by anyone. We say those small lies not to hurt another person, rather than telling them the truth. But someone inside is noticing it. And very soon those things become habitual. But Arjun is not like that. He is straightforward. There is no deceit in him. There is no manipulation in him. बोलते ना, टेढ़ी थिंकिंग नहीं है, सीधा है एकदम. आर्जवम. O Arjuna, you are so straight that you are not deceitful. You never manipulate. You never take advantage of someone. You are not beating around the bush and never telling the exact point. Yeah, you tell what is there. You tell that. If a hungry person were to say out of shyness that he had enough, he will have to suffer from hunger and earn the fruit of deception. So what is this deception? देखो, भूख लगी है, खा लो यार. नहीं अभी ठीक है. You are hungry also, but you are saying no also, out of embarrassment or whatever. So who are we deceiving there? We are deceiving ourselves. But not Arjuna. He had any question, he never felt shy to put that question forth in front of Krishna to be answered. And in the same way, if after meeting an all-knowing teacher one were to feel shy and not ask for enlightenment on the nature of the self, one would become liable to the sin of self-deception and miss a great opportunity. And this is what majority of the people do. They meet masters, they meet teachers, and all they can think of is, what do you like to eat? What do you want to... you like khichdi, or you want, or like varan bhat, or you want today I went somewhere and the girl called me and she says, Swamiji, 5 minutes talk. I said, okay. She says, my date is due. Kal, my date is due. What date? I was rattled. Suddenly I started thinking, date due तो एक ही चीज के लिए, बच्चा पैदा करने के लिए. When a girl is going to give birth. I said, अच्छा तो hey, when did you get pregnant? My first question was this. Then I realized it was not the right question. It can happen. I said, oh, then I checked myself and then I said, okay. But, oh, Swamiji, I cannot drive. I cannot, I'm just, yesterday night itself, I went to the hospital because I had some contractions, but it was क्या बोलते हैं झूठ मूठ fake contractions, or it was a क्या बोलते हैं उसको false alarm. Yeah, false alarm. So I said, okay, you don't come, I will come. And there her mother, सब कुछ हो, पहले चैंटिंग वैंटिंग कर लिया, फिर उसके बाद स्वामी जी आई मेड व्हाट यू लाइक. व्हाट इज दैट? लास्ट टाइम आई हैड गॉन, दे हैड गॉट सम पुलाव, तो अच्छा लगा था, बोल दिया अच्छा बना है तो अच्छा बोल दिया. ओ आपको बहुत अच्छा लगा था, मैंने पुलाव बनाया. पुलाव बनाया. When Swamiji is coming now, what do? You sit silent in front of him. Good. Is that silence out of shyness? Is that silence out of, I shouldn't be asking the wrong questions? Is that silence out of being overwhelmed in his presence? All these things are not good. Overwhelming is not good. Shyness is not good. We must be confident. Atma Bala must be there. Must be clear. And we will be clear only when we are working on ourselves on a daily basis. Then we are clear. Okay, where am I stuck? Why these things are not turning the way they should unfold? And when the teacher comes, yes, attend the satsangs. Maybe the answer comes there. But if you are in a satsang or somewhere, and if the teacher allows, ask a question genuinely. Not majority of the people come and ask the question, even to Swamiji, even to us. Swamiji, if you say like this, how will the world? We are not here for the world. We are here for the person who is in front of us, available. Story over. We have got nothing to do with the world, even though living in the world. बोलते हैं ना, think global, act local. So what is global? Think divine, but act wherever life has placed you. Whatever you are faced with, you interact with that with 100%. Your mind is with the divine and you function here. That art, it comes with practice. It doesn't happen just like that. It's a knack. It's a knack. Motherhood is a knack. Whatever profession you are doing, and if it has clicked with you, years of practice, now it has become like back of your hand. Exactly the same way. Just like in yesterday's Kathopanishad, they said, keep meditating. This lay prakriya. What was it? The senses, the cause of the senses is the tanmatras, the cause of the tanmatras is the mind, the cause of the mind is the intellect, the cause of the intellect is the total intellect, the Virat Purush, the cause of the Virat Purush is the Hiranyagarbha, the cause of the Hiranyagarbha is the Avyakta, unmanifest, and the cause of the unmanifest is the Ishvara, and the Ishvara, beyond Ishvara and the unmanifest Avyakta is the Purusha. Keep thinking about it, doing. Again and again. Practice. Initially practice. Then slowly bhav. Add the bhav to it. यार इतने दिनों से मैं practice कर रहा हूँ, अभी तक click क्यों नहीं हो रहा? Where am I going wrong? Create a habit. Then delve into it. Like in Kapil Gita. Kapil Muni was one of the minor avatars of Lord Narayana, son of Devhuti and Kardam Rishi. And Kardam Rishi goes away and the moment child is born, the father goes away. He says, by nature I am a tapasvi, I am going. Because I have seen you, O Lord, I know you are the Ishvara, but all forms are only existing in their absence. I want you to come to know you, Atmatvena, how you are everything and everyone, without any trying. So I am going for tapasya. I don't want to fall in love with one form of yours, which is born as my son. I don't want that. And he goes away. And it is your response. Now you are born from your mother and you are the Ishvara yourself. Now it is your responsibility to take care of your mother. The husband goes away. And there the moment Devahuti, she sees that the husband has gone away. There and then, without waiting for the child to grow up, she says, son, I have wasted my years living at the senses and the mind, meaning desire level. I had the babies and I had now you. Please tell me, if my husband is not interested in all this, and his goal must be something greater. Where am I going wrong? Please correct me. See? And there the Kapil Muni, without going into too much, one exercise he gives her to prepare her mind. And he says, you imagine the Lord from the feet, then imagine the Pitambar, imagine all the parts of the body all the way to the head. Then from the head, again scan down, then again scan up, then again scan down, then again scan up, and keep doing this again and again till your mind becomes focused on that. It will become focused when love for the Lord is also there in our heart. And as the mind becomes focused on the Lord, after some time, mind is never satisfied. It's always curious about something more, wants to know more. So once we become focused, focus means what? From manyness to oneness. That is what focus is called, isn't it? From many thoughts to one thought. So from the whole world, all the variety of the world, you have come to the one Lord. Now, there is so much variety in the Lord. As your mind is becoming focused, you are automatically, by divine grace, your attention will stick to two lips, or between the two lips, or between the 2 feet. They look at the 2 feet or the 2 lips or the 2 eyes. And as you remain focused on that for elongated period of time, suddenly the third eye will suck you in. Suddenly you will find yourself sucked into with the breath of between the 2 lips and become one with the Lord. Or between the 2 feet there is a gap. Your mind will merge into that. But we will not practice. Devoti practiced and she realized. We will hear it, yeah, kitna badhiya story tha. And what about you practice? Simple exercise. But no, we want to study Vedanta. But how will you understand Vedanta if your mind is not focused? So continue the satsangs, but in your spare time, continue to purify your mind. Yesterday in Kathopanishad it was clearly told, anyone who has some axe to grind in this world, who is thinking about time, space and objectivity, who is thinking about this samsara, and while wanting to achieve something in samsara is pursuing spirituality, he will never be successful in life. Yamaraj was telling Nachiketa. Jnanavan and agyanvan. The difference between the two was being told. And this choice to be extroverted or introverted towards the divine, this choice, this Lord Krishna, having expounded all the knowledge, he has left the choice with Arjuna. In other words, he has left the choice to with us. What do we do with this Bhagavad Gita now? Was our disposition as good as Arjuna's, or at least somewhere close to him? If it was, you would see a great transformation. How many years now? 6, 7, 8? Kitne saal ho gaye? 9 years. She's saying 9 years we are 9 years. 9 years we are doing Bhagavad Gita. So have we taken birth into the divine after 9 years? Or we are still in the womb of ignorance? That each one of us has to determine. That is our individuality dissolving, or is it still very strong? And how do you know it is very strong? When the world is still having a reality for you. If there is still something to achieve in this world, if there is still left something to do in this world, then we are far away from our essential nature or the divine. Having said this, the teacher said, it's your choice. Thereafter, where are we now? In the same way, if after meeting an all-knowing teacher, one were to feel shy and not ask for enlightenment on the nature of the self, one would become liable to the sin of self-deception and miss a great opportunity. When we were in the ashram, teachers employ different techniques of finding out, are you here to study or are you here to prove something? When we were in the ashram in 96, about 62 of us started in the ashram. 62. Girls, boys, majority boys, lot of about 30, 20, 25 girls. And after 2 days, the staff from the kitchen left, and after 2-3 days we were asked to start washing the dishes of all the people who have had breakfast in the ashram. Steel plates. After 15-20 days we are asked to clean the morning dishes, breakfast dishes and lunch dishes. And after 3-4 months, even the dinner dishes we had to clean. I tell, believe it or not, within those 4 months, 3 months, 50% of the people left. 50% of the people left the ashram. They came to study Vedanta, but they were not ready to do what the teacher asked them to do. I am a Brahmin. How can I wash dishes? I came here to study Vedanta, not to wash dishes. I have never washed dishes in my life. House? I come from such and such a rich family. All those who left had different ideas in their head why they should not be washing the dishes. But very quickly, within 3 months, those who are not fit for study of Vedanta, because study of Vedanta is not through books. Study of Vedanta, first step is we have to be available to the teacher. Second, the teacher, if you are available to the teacher teaches you, inspires you to be available to the Lord or yourself. See? Yet another person, almost 1 year, 8-9 months were over, and they came to study Vedanta, but they eloped. One boy, one girl eloped. And we searched for them everywhere in the ashram. We couldn't find. Afterwards, we got a marriage invitation that we are getting married. Where are we? What is our disposition? How are we processing this knowledge? Are we lost in the words? Are we lost in the chapters? Are we into how many verses are there in the book, in this Bhagavad Gita? How many chapters are there in the Bhagavad Gita? How many names of Arjuna were taken? How many names of Krishna were taken? What were the, why did they start with Karma Yoga, then Dhyan Yoga, then the Bhakti Yoga, then Gyan Yoga? Is Karma Yoga lower than Gyan Yoga that it was told before, or is it higher than Gyan Yoga? All this bakwas, all this unwanted thinking, people get lost in. Are we in this type of thinking? Or are we here that by God's grace, the Bhagavad Gita has come into our life and we have, by His grace, by His inspiration, had the capacity, had the acumen to sit through the last how many, whatever the number of years, or in every class, whatever you are, whenever you are there, that He, by His grace, I was available, and it has changed my life. Yes, whatever Bhagavad Gita is saying is exactly what I am. There's no doubt about it. Is that our disposition? Or are we here to judge, oh, that teacher wrote Bhagavad Gita commentary better, that teacher wrote better, Ramanujacharya wrote better, Shankaracharya wrote better, or Madhvacharya wrote better, or our Paramahansa Yogananda wrote according to the Kriya Marg. Is that better? Oh, Gyaneshwari Maharaj, he wrote it in Marathi. How can you write a commentary in Marathi? What does a 12-year-old know? Are we getting lost in all this unwanted information? Or are we here with the intention to undo ourselves, to dissolve our individuality and allow the Paramatma to reveal Himself through the same station, through the same instrument? Where are we? Each one has to assess, each one has to assess. Choice is yours. Yathechasi tatha kuru. Do what you could. Make it or break it. Do or die. Up to you. One 136. Did we read this? नहीं ना? तै आपण पेची वंचे आणि पापही वंचनाचे आपण याची साचे चुकविले तेणे पै उगेपणा तुझिया हा अभिप्रावो की धनंजया जे एक वेळ आवांकुनिया सांगावे ज्ञान तेथ पार्थू म्हणे दातारा भले जाणसी माझिया अंतरा हे म्हणो तरी दुसरा जाणता असे काही ये रज्ञेय हे जी आघवे तू ज्ञाता एकची स्वभावे मा सूर्यू म्हणवनी वानावे सूर्या ते काही या बोला श्रीकृष्णे म्हणितले काय येणे हेची थोडे गावाने वानणे जे बुजतासी तू. Gyaneshwari Maharaj says that one would become liable to the sin of self-deception and miss a great opportunity. From your silence, I gather that you wish me to summarize what I have said so far. This is the beauty of the teacher, of the Guru Maharaj. I gave you many options. Do what you want. Your mind is going everywhere. But what did Arjun do? Arjun was silent. But what type of silence? Was it an inert silence? Was it a silence because of misunderstanding or not understanding? Was it a silence of out of embarrassment? Or it was a wakeful silence? Sometimes, when many times it must have happened, mothers know this. The child comes, the child has not opened the mouth. Mother knows whether he is hungry, whether he is what do you call, had some has some problem. She'll come to know. Like a child, small baby lying in a cot, and whatever the types of sound he's making or she's making, the mother comes to know whether that child is hungry, whether the nappy is full, whether the nappy is wet, so he needs a change, therefore this kir 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 is going on, or the tummy is aching. They come to know. Similarly, a Guru Maharaj is one who knows his disciple better than the disciple knows himself. Why? The Guru Maharaj knows the self alone is. The Guru Maharaj does not have any differentiation between the self in him and the self in the disciple. He knows the potential of the disciple. And therefore, when the disciple, whether he speaks or whether he does not speak, like this girl today said, Swamiji, the date has come. She did not say anything else, but from that one line and the way she said it on the phone, without declaring that she is pregnant or she is going to give birth, we came to the conclusion. Similarly, mother comes to know. Similarly, the Guru Maharaj also comes to know, because he is not addressing the questioner. His attention, the Guru Maharaj's attention, by default is always on the Atmic Tattva, the Atmic principle. By default. So whatever disposition the student comes in, depending upon the availability of the student, well, I shouldn't even say depending upon availability. The teacher is always trying to invoke or shift the attention of the student to his essential nature. And that's what Krishna Bhagavan has done to Arjuna, through him to us. And then told, now you do what you feel like. Oh Lord, and yes, here he says that, and because Arjuna was silent, why was he silent? This is what we are talking. Is Arjuna overwhelmed with the information? How many? We must have almost 680, 90 verses are over. So much data to be processed. So is Arjuna overwhelmed with this knowledge? Or is he feeling blessed whenever we are in the presence of blessedness? Whenever you go to temple, you may be chatting ta 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 ta. The moment you are in front of the altar, you become silent. Your eyes, you look at the Lord, statue of the Lord, and your eyes close. For a few seconds, your mind becomes silent. Your speech becomes a zero. Your whole disposition is that of surrender, of availability. Very short, minuscule period, but it is there. That's out of reverence. So, why is Arjuna silent? No, we will not take it negatively. that he is overwhelmed with the information. No, it is out of the feeling of blessedness that, my God, I have just heard the entire Bhagavad Gita. Well, he didn't know it was called Gita. That I have been a receiver of this great secret knowledge. Guhyat guhyataram jnanam. See? Guhya, guhyatara, guhyataram. Superlative. This is guhyataram jnanam. And that feeling of blessedness when we were in front of Kailash, the first time, second time, all the times, every time I see, the tears just start rolling. Why? It's only a mountain. Every time I go to Rishikesh, now I'm going to go to Rishikesh. The moment I get into Rishikesh, you feel so blessed. That's the land of the sages. It's all commercial now. But you go and sit by the banks of the Gangaji. Is it just another river? But all the knowledge, how she came, how she descended onto the earth. You sit there, that river has a great, deep impact on your being just by sitting on her banks. You feel blessed. And there's no word to explain that. Today, when I went to this girl, I just took Mansarovar water and gave her. She said, "Can I take it?" I said, "Oh, that's why I brought. I have not taken it to take it and throw it away. You drink." But the moment that water went in, tears started rolling. Why should tears start rolling if the water has gone into your mouth? Is it did the tears come because it was too cold? Was it because it will have bacteria in it? Was it because it has come from Kailash, Mansarovar? Is it because Swamiji remembered to bring something to bless me? Choice is yours. Think negative or think positive or think divine. These are the only three choices we have. So, Arjun, the Lord is saying, Arjun is not saying anything. So, Lord said, choice is yours, yatechasi tatha kuru. Arjun. Bhagwan is putting words into his mind. His mind is stunned. When you are face to face with divinity, when you are face to face with beauty, when you are face to face with something extraordinary, you become silent. So, be it a great ocean, vast expanse of the ocean, be it the rainbow, be it the Akash Ganga. Go to Hillsville at the middle of the night, you will see this splash of colors throughout the sky. You stop, you forget to breathe. You become silent. That is not inert silence. You are awakeful. You are alert. You are awake. You are in awe of that beauty. The silence that Arjuna is experiencing is in awe of the blessedness of this knowledge. And Bhagavan Krishna recognizes that and just for his benefit, because he loves him so much, because he is the good disciple, he is a worthy disciple. He says that from your silence I gather that you wish me to summarize what I have said so far. As if he has not told everything. But ठीक है. The teacher always wants to do more for the disciple. Always. Some way. Why do we not get tired talking about Bhagavad Gita for so many years? Why don't we get tired? Every day, every class is a new class. Every day is a new day, every moment is a new moment. A new expression, looking at the same reality in a new way. With new words. Expressing it with new words, different words. That you wish me to summarize what I have said so far. To this Arjuna said, O Lord, you have truly read my mind. But why should I say this? Is there anyone else who knows all like you? This whole world is the object of knowledge. You alone are the knower. Is there any point in praising the sun by calling him the sun? Hearing this, the Lord Krishna said, why do you feel that what you have said about me is insufficient praise? देखो. We say, देखो, see how shining the sun is. The sun is always shining. तो बोलने की क्या जरूरत है? How cool the moon is. Moon is, nature is cool only. How bright the ornament, gold is. It is ornament, the gold is always shining. क्या जरूरत है ये सब बात करने की? This is what Arjuna is saying. God, you are everything in this world and you are the knower of everything in this world. Nimitta upadan karan. You are the efficient cause and the material cause of the creation. And I am a part of that creation. So what can I tell about you? I cannot say anything. Therefore, anything that I say will be a very small understanding of who you really are, who is the all-knowing principle. Therefore, silence. And Bhagavan says what? Hearing this, Lord Krishna said, why do you feel that what you have said about me is insufficient praise? Why do you feel that way? You can speak, you can say, whichever way you want to express. Have I ever stopped you from sharing your thoughts? Giving your opinion? Why do you feel that way? That your words will be insufficient to do justice to who I am, which you have heard from my own mouth. Once one person asked me this question, Swamiji, don't you think Bhagwan Krishna has the biggest ego? He's always talking about Maya Tatamidam Sarvam, Maya Vakta Murtina, everything me, I gave the knowledge to the sun, I am the transcendental principle, I am transcendental to the Prakriti, Prakriti is does not affect me, or I am not affected by the Prakriti. Everywhere he is saying I. That is how the egoistic person also says. Correct or not? So what do you say? Does Krishna have a big ego? Don't just say no. I want to know the reason. I know you will say no, Krishna doesn't have ego, but why he doesn't have an ego?
I am everything, he says, Swamiji. So
But that is not, I also say, I am everything. So, Swamiji, Swamiji, stay in your shoes. Don't talk too much.
He is representing Parabrahma.
Yes, he is representing Parabrahma. What is the flip side of that? He's not he is Parabrahma. He's not representing. He is Parabrahma.
Correct.
And the flip side of it is,
You are in me.
no. Flip side. Don't get into all that. Question. Don't forget the question. What was the question? What was the question?
Does he have ego?
Correct. So answer that. So
No,
Parabrahma has got no ego. It is beyond ego. Parabrahma.
because he is Advaita, right? That's why there
Correct.
is no ego. Is a separate part.
So tell me, when does ego express?
No mind.
Huh?
He's not expressing, not using mind, Swami. There's no mind in him.
Realized masters express through mind, okay? So there you can't say that. That's wrong conclusion. Where there is no individuality, there is no ego. And what is individuality? Identification with the equipment brings about the ego. And who is the Lord? When he is saying, I am this, I am that, I am everything, he is not saying that out of attachment or identification to any equipment. He is everything. There is no question of being identified. We are identified. I am only this body. And if you come and say, Swamiji, it is the mind. No, you did not understand. See, I told you don't understand. We see the differences. Bhagwan does not see the differences. Meaning, his eyes see the differences, but there is no owner of the differences. He hears different sounds, but there is no knower that there are different sounds. The mirror reflects the entire creation, but the mirror doesn't become multiplied into the variety. It remains the same, isn't it? So who is Parabrahma, Paramatma? The one without a second. Who are we? One of the many. One of the many. And who is he? The one in many, as the many. This is the difference. Therefore, no ego in the Lord, in whatever statement he makes. And whatever statement, as beautiful, wonderful statement may be, but if we are identified with the body, we consider ourselves to be born one day and we are this occupying this space. As beautiful words come out of our mouth, but we are still an individual. We are not even started on the journey of spiritual unfoldment. I keep saying again and again, the first step in spiritual unfoldment is at the Anahat Chakra, where you distinctly know that you are not the body. Like I see you, that you are not me. I see this body, I am not this body. There are only two ways. Either you dissolve the ego or you expand the ego. A tapasvi, a yogi, a seeker, an individual, he dissolves the ego. I am not the world, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not this, I am not this, I am the Atman. He dissolves by rejecting everything that he is not. The other is expand the ego. I am not only this body, I am all the bodies. Om Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapad. I am not only this body, I am expressing through all the bodies. I am not only these eyes, I am expressing through all the eyes. And as the ego expands, when it expands completely, you reach beyond the unmanifest. But where are we? Neither there nor here. We are hanging in between. भूत की तरह लटके हुए हैं. उस भूत को बोलते हैं ego. Individual. We'll leave it there. We'll start from 64th verse in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.